afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to organize our webinar series, and today our guest of honor, Mr. Jigesh Mehta. He is currently working in PP Savni University in Chemical Engineering Department as assistant professor, and Mr. Mehta has uh, many portfolios, a research area of studies like membrane separation techniques and biofuel-based study using deep solvent, green solvent, and many others qualities. He got many professional activities as well as a different research paper published in different years, and he also got grants in Gujkos 2021, 2020, 2019. I guess in every year he got the grant from Guj Coast. So I welcome you, sir, for
Thank
this
you.
session. You can continue.
Okay. Arun sir, the students are there, no? Means.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, first of all, thank you, Arun sir, for inviting me and Chemical Engineering Department, Parul University, and especially Parul Institute of Technology. And so we'll start the session. I'll share the whole screen. Okay. Arun sir, let me know if the screen is visible. Arun sir, let me know screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you.
Yes, sir,
Thank you. So, good afternoon to all the students and the faculty members at Chemical Engineering Department. So, today the topic of discussion that we decided is biomass energy and scopes and perspective in India. So, basically, biomass is one of the renewable source which is available abundantly in India. And that's why a lot of research work is going on in this area. And this is the only reason that when I discussed with Arun sir, that let us take some topic for the students where the second and third year students can start doing the research work. And nowadays, we all are aware that we are moving towards the renewable sources, okay? Because the fossil fuels and the fossil or the conventional sources are going to be exhausted very soon. And that's why we chose this topic. And I hope all the students will enjoy this. And I have kept my presentation as simple as possible so that we can match the gap of second year, third year, and final year of chemical engineering students at Parul University. Okay, so let me move further. So first of all, what is the meaning of this biomass or biomass energy? When I say biomass energy, so it is the actually energy which is coming from the nature. Okay, it is the energy which is coming from the organisms or living things which is available in the nature. And that's why it is the renewable source of energy, because every day or every year or every some span of time, some source is going to be generated in the nature, and from the nature we are getting the energy. Okay, and that's why it is called the energy from living things. Secondly, biomass energy as an alternative energy source. As I discussed right now, the fossil fuels and the other types of the sources, or we can say the fuels, are going to be exhaust very soon, as well as there are a lot of hazardous effects which are observed in the environment due to the some conventional forces. And that's why biomass energy, or we say it is the alternate source of energy which is now available, and it is to be used extensively to overcome the applications of fossil fuel. And that's why it is the alternative energy source which is available from the nature. Yes, I think this picture will definitely help you students that what is the actual biomass that we are talking about. Okay, you can just have a look on these pictures. We have some waste, we can say the waste, animal waste, or some aquatic waste or some type of the biomasses, that you can say coconut shells and some groundnut shells, some leaves, even some grass. Okay, so these are all naturally available in the nature, and just we need to know the utilization of such naturally available resources, right? If you see the first picture, I want to more focus on the first picture here. You can see some grass is there. Now this is the grass which is grown naturally over the roadsides or over naturally available in so many areas. So this grass does not require any special treatment. This is available in the nature automatically. So if you cut this grass and use for some purposes, again the same place you will see, you will have the same grasses, right? So this is abundantly available and it is growing every time. Similarly, lot of biomasses that you can see in the picture is available. Sugarcane, we know sugarcane is one of the best source for the starch and all cellulose and all this thing, right? So it is available abundantly, right? So biomass is having a lot of scopes. Yes. So how the biomass is generated? It is the actually energy which is generated or produced by living or once living organism. Means it is the energy which is produced by the living organisms or which is live, right? And it is also being utilized or produced, I can say, from the living organism which was death or which may be decayed, right? So it is a source of energy from the past as well as from the present organisms, right? Biomass fuels used in the India, so it is 1/3 of the total fuel used in this country. I want to focus more that nowadays you can see, many of us must have seen that on the highway, lot of namo biofuel or biodiesel type of the some sources are available. Okay, so this is nothing. It is one of the initiative by the government that instead of using of petrol or any other diesel or any fossil fuel, let us move towards the biodiesel. So this is what the way the country or our government is trying to do, that we should use the alternative sources of energy. And in India, 1/3 of the total fuel is used, only 1/3. So it is only 35%. Still, this number is also very big, right? But we want to convert it into 100% total alternative fuel use country, right? Over 90% of the rural households and about 50% of the urban households. Means biomass energy used by the rural households are 90% and only 15% from the urban households. Okay, so this is what the statistics currently says. Biomass. Now let us define, students, what is biomass. Right now, till now what we discussed is the just the information or some statistical data. But now we want to know actually what is biomass, because I know some of the students from second year or third year, they may even not heard this term even, biomass, but we need to know what is that. So biomass is a material derived from the plants that uses sunlight to grow, which includes plants and animals, materials such as wood from forest, materials left out from the agriculture and the forestry processes, organic, industrial, human and animal waste. So basically biomass is the material which is derived from the nature. Okay, the waste or the residue of the animal and the plants, the left out material of the agriculture, the left out material of the forest products, even human and animal waste. So if we put together all this as a raw material for some source of energy, we call it as a biomass. Okay, biomass can be considered a renewable energy source because the plant life renews and edits itself every year. As I have given one best example for the grass. If you cut the grass, after some period of time, again the same grass will be grown there. So it is a natural process. Okay, the raw material is available freely in the nature. You have to just utilize it and produce some useful product from that. Okay, now As a chemical engineer, you should know what is the composition of biomass. So chemical composition, if you talk, it is the cellulose, hemicellulose and the lignin. Okay. I want to focus more here because cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin are the basic components of the biomass on which each and every research work of biomass starts. See, whenever you do some laboratory work or some small minor projects or research projects in your laboratory, especially in the field of biomass, your first and foremost thing is that you should know what is the cellulose, hemicellulose and the lignin composition in your biomass. If you are taking the groundnut shell, if you are taking some grass, if you are taking some maybe some type of the other sources, you should first go for the statistical analysis, or we can say sophistical analysis of cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin. Okay, you can take the note of these students. Yes. Now biomass sources. Now how the biomass is coming from the nature, as we already discussed, it is coming. You can see I'm just putting my cursor also. You can see it is the agriculture crops and the residue, right? So from the agriculture crops and the residue also the biomass is coming. Forest crops and residue also the biomass is coming. Industrial residue, even from the industry point of view or the industry waste, sometimes you will get some biomass sources. Even the animal waste, we know the cow dung and all this thing, these are also a best source of biomass. Then municipal solid waste and sewage waste. So this diagram actually gives us an idea that biomass sources are available everywhere in the nature. It is us human beings, or specifically I say it is we chemical engineers, need to focus and try to utilize these sources for the manufacturing of some renewable sources or fuels from that. Okay. Yeah. Now the energy, sometimes we call as the bioenergy. Okay. So the energy content in the biomass originally comes from the sun. Through photosynthesis, carbon dioxide in the air is transformed into the carbon containing molecules that we call as sugar, starch or cellulose in the plants. The chemical energy that is stored in the plants and animals or in their waste is called the bioenergy. So students, one thing you please note here, that whatever the cellulose, semicellulose, lignin, starch, all these type of the chemical compositions which are available in the biomass is only source of income, we can say, is the sun. Okay, through photosynthesis actually your carbon dioxide is getting transferred into the various carbon containing sources. So it is not some rocket science that biomass is available and it contains all these things. It is actually the natural product which is available from with the help of sunlight. Photosynthesis process goes on and your carbon dioxide which is present in the air try to convert into your important sources which is required for the production of further bioproducts, right? Yeah, what we discuss right now, student, this is just a schematic diagram for that. You can see the sun is there, sun is providing some energy. Now whatever the carbon dioxide that is available in the air, that is converting the material into the various sources. Okay, and you can see the uptake and intake of the carbon and oxygen from this plant. Okay, so oxygen release in the photosynthesis protocol. So you can see it is simply the carbon dioxide which is being intake by the living trees or some sources or crops, and it is generating back the oxygen outside. Okay, so this is what the schematic diagram for the that. Yes. Now let us again discuss more on the source of biomass, because you are all second year, third year and final year students, and probably in next 1 year you will be searching for your projects. So if you know the source of biomass, you can easily start your project work. Let's say wood from natural forest or woodland. So wood is one of the source. Forestry plantation, forestry residue. Even the residue which is generated in the forest is also a source of biomass. Agriculture residues such as straw, stowers, cane rush, and agriculture waste. See, we all know that whenever we crush the sugar cane, so what happens? Molasses is formed. So this molasses is also one of the source of biomass. Agriculture industrial waste such as sugarcane bagasse, जो मैंने अभी बताया आपको, that is a sugarcane bagasse and rice sack. Okay. Animal waste, industrial waste such as black liquor from the paper manufacturing, sewage, municipal waste, food processing waste. So this is all well-known terms, students, you all know, and these can be the source for the manufacturing of very useful products, students. And these are we call as the source of biomass, which is available in the nature free of cost. It is available free of cost, students. Okay. Yes. So let us categorize field and plantation biomass. Let's say agriculture crop residue. So crops, stacks, straw, cane thrashes, etc. are called the agriculture crop. Okay. So whenever some agriculture land is there, see, so whenever they produce some product, obviously there is some type of the residue or the byproduct which is coming out. So that can be the source. See, normally the farmers throw this waste or they utilize this waste for the cattle feeding or some other purposes. But this is also one of the source for the biomass. Edible matters from the crop environmental spoiled grains, pulse, fruits, nuts, species, seeds, and linten. So there are also some type of the fruits and nuts and all these things which are available in the nature, which can be the further source. Dedicated energy crop. So bamboo. So bamboo, why I focus bamboo? Because initially when there was a discussion on the biomass, so bamboo was the first tree or the source of our biomass which was recognized, and a lot of work is done on the bamboo. Okay. Plantation debris, leaves, brackish and trunks. Even you see there are some leaves which are just fallen down from the trees, or some barks or some trucks. Okay, so these are some of the plantation berries which are actually waste. Okay, that can be the source of biomass. Livestock waste from the field. Okay, even from the field you can have the livestock. That is a waste product. Okay. Yes, urban waste biomasses. So urban waste biomasses means it is the municipal solid waste. Okay. See, we all know there is a lot of solid waste which is generated in the municipalities, and whatever the waste is coming, that is actually being thrown out or being utilized for some other purposes which are actually not environmental friendly. So we should utilize this solid waste as a source of biomass for some useful products. Sewage sludge. Okay, so sewage sludge is also, you know, a lot of industries, industrialization is there, and the sewage is generated in a very huge quantity. So this huge quantity is creating a land problem, land pollution problem actually. Thirdly, the kitchen and the canteen waste. You all know that every institute, every industry, every home is made up with some kitchen or the canteens. Okay. And when there is a kitchen or canteen, always there will be some amount of the waste which is going to be generated. That is 100% sure. Right. So you can imagine that is also one of the source of biomass. You can utilize this as a raw material and to produce lot of things from that. Okay. Industrial biomass. So what are the industrial biomasses? Agro-industrial process biomass and their waste, let's say herbs. Then oil cake, sugar molasses, hides and skin waste, fruit and pulp berries, water pulp, wood pulp and paper, fermentation. So these are some industrial waste, okay, which is coming out, and that can be the source of biomass, right? Okay, forest biomass. So what is the forest biomass? Log residues, timbers, forest floor debris, animal carcass. So these are some of the forest biomass with that you can collect from the forest. Okay. Aquatic biomass, seaweeds. Okay, there is example like keep. So keep is one of the example that is available in the mostly the oceans and all this thing. Okay, this is called the seaweeds. Then freshwater weeds, dead fishes, microalgae blooms. Okay, so These are some aquatic biomass. Even I don't know if you are having that information or not, but the aquatic animals are also acting as a very good source of adsorbent. Okay, even some of the project work right now we are doing here in our university about the aquatic animals, that you can use these aquatic animals, some parts that can be the source of adsorbent, very good adsorbent, and can act as a very good adsorbent in some effluent treatment plants. Okay, so a lot of biomass sources are available in the aquatic also. Yeah. So further, if we talk about the current application of biomass, let's say if I talk about biomass, so what are the products? Let's say biogas, production gas, ethanol or biodiesel, or biofuel or gas turbine. So what are the applications? So we all know biogas. Biogas plants are available nowadays. So it is the use for cooking, heating, electricity purposes, right? If we talk about the producer gas, so it is the electricity and heating purposes. If we talk about ethanol or biodiesel, so it is used for obviously the transportation and the cooking. And if we talk about the biofuel or the gas turbines, it is used for the electricity or industrial processing or heating. Yes. So students, till now we discussed about the biomass, that what are the sources of biomass, how it is available, what is the chemical composition for that, how it is impacting our nature's ecology. That we have discussed. Now we want to discuss the biomass energy, means using biomass as a source, what type of the energies that you are going to generate. So now further the presentation is really very important, especially to the third year students, because you will be entering in final year and looking for some projects, and in that projects definitely you will be some of you will focus on this biomass. Okay, so this is the cycle of the biomass, very simple. Okay, obviously carbon dioxide is hazardous to the environment, but on the other hand carbon dioxide is also one of the important component of biomass energy. You see carbon dioxide is taken by trees and plants, then this trees and plant is being taken into some products, let's say wooden or the wooden products, and when these wooden products will stay for some years, let's say 100 years, 200 years, and when they decay, so after decay they become biomass, and then this biomass is taken to some power plants, and further from the power plants the carbon dioxide is generated. So students, this is our wrong mentality, that if carbon dioxide is available in the environment, so it is no doubt is giving some harmful effects, but on the other hand it is also one of the important component in the biomass energy cycle. Okay, without carbon dioxide the trees cannot uptake this. Okay, and the further processes will not happen, so it is also one of the important component. Yes. Now this slide is one of the important slide of my presentation, because this is the point where you all will be focusing in the future. That is biomass conversion. Now let's say how to convert the biomass. Okay. For example, if you are taking the sugarcane bagasse, okay, that is available after the some process. So are you going to go for the direct combustion of molasses? Are you going to do the thermochemical conversion, or are you going to do the biochemical conversion? Okay, so you need to be decide whether your conversion will be in which form. So if we talk about direct conversion, so it is directly done. Second is the thermochemical conversion, where it is divided into two major parts, which is I can say is the most favorite research part, especially in India. Okay, in India, see, let me tell you very fact. In India, the people do not work on the softwares or something. Here, the people works on some synthesis process. Okay, you see, the laboratory work is lot in the India. So gasification and pyrolysis is we can say an important topics where the people are working a lot. People have published a lot of papers, and still the people are working. Okay, it is unending topics where you can work, right? And finally the biochemical conversion, so it is anaerobic or fermentation. So we need to decide which type of the biomass conversion that we need to go. right? So now we will discuss one by one all these types. Yes. So direct conversion, students. So the simple and the most common way of extracting the energy from the biomass is direct combustion of solid matter. For example, as I discussed, let us take the sugarcane molasses. Okay, गन्ना जो होता है, गन्ने को आप जब क्रश करते हो उसके बाद आप see, we all must have enjoyed the sugarcane juice which is available on the road. So you can see there the sugar cane is being crushed, and after crushing the waste sugar cane is thrown. So that thrown material is the biomass, students. You can collect that and you can go for a lot of research work on that, right? So direct combustion का simple calculation हम करें तो it is the direct burning, okay, of the solid material. And while burning, you will generate lot of energy. The first energy that you can generate is the electricity. Power plants that burn garbages from energy are called the waste to energy plants. Okay, costly processes as compared to coal-based power plants. Obviously, the power plants are working on a higher cost compared to the coal-based plant, because when we talk about the power plant, they work on electricity, while we talk about the coal plants, they work on the coal, and coal is available, right? And electricity we need to generate. The complete combustion of biomass into ash is called incineration. I hope you must have come up with this word, incineration. Actually, incineration is simple combustion of biomass into the ash. You are converting the biomass into ash. Okay. The heat energy in the product gases or in the form of steam can be used for various applications like space heating or cooling, power generation, process heating in industries or any other applications. Co-generation with conventional fuels, right? So the heat energy actually, students, is formed, okay, in the form of steam. Okay, in the industry you must have learned that boilers are used for the generation of the steam. So the heat energy actually which is given in the boiler is converting the energy actually into the steam, and that is being applied for various applications. Okay, yeah, this is a small slide, that picture that I have kept. It is blur, but you can understand. Electricity generation powered by biomass. So you can see the biomass is available, and with the help of biomass you are going for some direct combustion. With the help of combustion you are generating the steam, and from the steam you are working, you see, you are running the turbine, you are running the condensers, you are actually generating a lot of AC power, or we can say electricity from the turbine, right? So this is also one of the good project you can take up by changing or taking different biomasses as a raw material, and you can generate the electricity. Okay, yes. So thermochemical conversion, students. So thermochemical conversions are divided into two parts, that is gasification and pyrolysis. Now, thermochemical reactions can convert the organic matter or mass into valuable and convenient form of product as gaseous and the liquid fuels, residues and byproducts. Basically, students, thermochemical conversion is converting the biomass into the three different states: solid, liquid and gas. And through this process, you can able to get the solid material also, you can able to get the liquid material also, you can able to get the gaseous product also. Okay, and this is what the beauty of this project. Okay, beauty of this type of the processes. If you go for gasification or pyrolysis, you are able to get the three states of product, and that can be utilized for different purposes. So through one process you are producing the three different states, and all these states are used for different applications. So let us discuss, students, the gasification. Gasification is a process that exposes a solid fuel to high temperature and limited oxygen to produce the gases. So gasification main objective is to produce the gaseous fuel. Okay, and that's why there is a limited oxygen available and the temperature should be high. If your temperature is high and you are providing the limited amount of oxygen, you are doing the gasification process. Okay, It is the mixture of gases. See, whenever you are getting the gaseous product, so what can be the gaseous product? Let's say it can be carbon monoxide, it can be carbon dioxide, it can be nitrogen, it can be hydrogen, it can be methane. Okay, so it is a mixture of all these things. So you can imagine, students, you are producing the gaseous fuel like carbon dioxide, monoxide, methane, hydrogen, methane, and all these things using a simple naturally available biomass. Okay, so just imagine the scope and the perspective of our topic, today's topic, that is biomass. Okay, you can produce the industrial gases, students. These are all industrial gases widely used in all the chemical sectors. If you go to any industry, nitrogen is always used for blanketing or inert as an inert gas. Okay, so this is what the gasification. The resultant gas, methane, can be treated in a similar way as the natural gas and used as a fuel. तो जैसे यहाँ पे methane एक product है, so methane is also one of the important product. It is used as a natural gas, you know, and nowadays it is highly used as a fuel. Even it produces a fuel that can have many impurities removed and will therefore cause fewer pollution problem when burned. So if we talk only for the methane, students, it is producing a fuel with a very minor impurities. So these are the scopes of the biomass. Okay, from the biomass you can prepare a lot of things. Yes. Now this is one important technology that I want to discuss. This is we call as the plasma gasification. So you can see the diagram in the initial stage. You are adding some biomass. Okay, that is household waste, industrial waste, coal, biomass, and all these things. And then you go for the plasma processes where you are actually utilizing some different air or oxygen gases. Then you go for quenching and then particulate removal, and finally you are getting the different products like steam, ethanol, power, syngases. So plasma gasification is an extremely thermal process using plasma which convert the organic matters into the synthetic gases. So which are synthetic gases, students? It is the hydrogen, it is the carbon monoxide, it is the steam, we can say it is the ethanol, it is the power generation. So lot of applications that you are producing by single plasma technology. Now what is the feedstock, students? Municipal and industrial waste, hazardous waste, incineration ash, hazardous sludge, waste management. So ये सब जो है, these are the scopes, or we can say the feedstock for the gasification. This is which is available in the nature. Yeah. So biomass gasification. So this is a process of converting the solid biomass fuel into the gaseous combustible gases, that is producer gas, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, CO2, through a sequence of thermochemical reactions. The gas is a low temperature value with a calorific value between 1000 to 1200 kilocalories per Newton meter. Right? So biogas ka gasification, when you are going to perform, okay, the feed you can see is the basic raw material. You go for the gasifier, then you go for the oxidation, you go for the boiler, and finally you are separating and getting the various gaseous products. Okay. Now this is the basic reaction, students, that how the reaction takes place in the gasification reaction. Let's say carbon plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide, very easy. Then we go for hydrogen plus oxygen gives water. Then we go for, if we go for reduction reaction, means you are breaking here the carbon dioxide and all. So C plus CO2 gives 2CO, C plus H2O gives CO plus H2. So a further chain of reactions you can see here. So these are all reactions which is taking place during the gasification of any biomass. Okay, the basic reactions. You see in each and every reaction you are producing the carbon monoxide, water, or hydrogen or methane. Okay, so these are the basic reactions that you should understand when you go for the study of biomass combustion. Yeah. Next is your pyrolysis. So what is this pyrolysis? It is a very innovative heating technique actually, for biomass, that is to be done in a closed vessel at some temperature of ranging from actually 400 to 900 or 1000 degrees Celsius, in absence of air or oxygen. So there is no air or oxygen that you are going to utilize, okay, and it produces the three states of the product. That's a solid, liquid and gas. Okay. The pyrolysis process can also use all type of the organic matters, including plastic and the rubber. Even nowadays, lot of people are using the plastic and the rubber as a raw material for producing the various organic matters actually through pyrolysis process. Okay. The product of biomass pyrolysis includes the biochar, bio-oil and gases. As I told you, there are three states: solid, liquid and gas. So if we talk about solid, so it is called biochar. If we talk about the liquid, it is called bio-oil. And if we talk about the gas, it is called the biogas actually. Methane and hydrogen, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Right? So this is all about the pyrolysis. Right? Yes. So how the process looks like? Let's say if you are having the biomass, students, so you can go for the drying. Now let me, students, give you a small idea that if you want to do the project, how can you do? See, I know there are a lot of problem of the resources in the laboratory, but see, I know that there is some dryer available always, or heater is available in the laboratory. There is always some grinding machine or some crushers available in the laboratory. You can prepare the own pyrolysis reactor and then you can go for the process. I guaranteed you, students, you can use any biomass. If you go for drying, then grinding, and then you go for the one reactor, small reactor, you can easily prepare the biochar, bio-oil and biofuel from the biomass very easily. Okay. In the laboratory itself, you can perform such experiments. Yes. Now the last part is the biochemical conversion. Means how I can convert the biomass into some useful products using some biological organisms. Let's say bacteria and microorganisms. So bacteria and microorganisms are used to transform the organic biomass into the useful energies. Let's say fermentation, that is aerobic digestion, and anaerobic digestion, that is we can see in absence of oxygen actually. So what is fermentation? So fermentation is a process of combustion of complex molecules of organic compound under the influence of microorganisms such as yeast, bacteria and enzyme. So fermentation is a process where you are actually dividing the complex molecules using some bacteria or some yeast or bacteria and enzymes and all this thing. Okay, so it is called the fermentation, where actually you are utilizing the air, you are utilizing the oxygen in presence of some organisms. You are breaking the organisms, or we can say the various components, into the simpler form. For example, the conversion of grains and sugar crops into ethanol and CO2 in presence of yeast. We all know we can convert the sugar into the ethanol and carbon dioxide gas in presence of yeast, right? Yes, very important figure. We know biomass is used, and with the help of biomass nowadays, you can see, as I give the example, Namo biodiesel. So Namo biodiesel stands are available everywhere on the highway. So that is also one of the best example of biomass ethanol. Using biomass, you are preparing the ethanol, or I can say the biodiesel, and that biodiesel is used nowadays as a transportation fuel in most of the cars. Okay, and in the few years, I guaranteed biodiesel and some biofuels, which I am going to discuss after some slides, that will become a lot of big source in the future that is going to replace petrol and diesel. Okay. Yes. Last is the anaerobic digestion. So the anaerobic digestion or the aerobic digestion process involves the conversion of decaying wet biomass and animal waste into the biogas through decomposition by the action of bacteria. So anaerobic digestion means where in absence of air or oxygen, you are converting some animal or plant waste actually, okay, into some useful product, right? The most useful biomass for production of biogas are animal and human waste. I told you, The waste which is generated by mankind and the animals, they are the most important source of biogas. You must have also seen that lot of kitchens and canteens are nowadays having the biogas plant. Even in our university, we have biogas plant in our canteen. So whatever the waste that is generated every day, that is being put in that, and we can generate some biogas from that. Plant residue and other organic waste materials with high moisture content, right? Yes. So at the end, students, what are the advantage of biomass? See, we discussed a lot about the biomass sources. We discussed a lot about the biomass utilization. Then how the biomass is converted into the various products. What are the methods of converting the biomass? But now, after doing all these things, what advantage that we are going to give to the society or the environment is very important to understand. So first is the indigenous source. इतना ज्यादा सोर्स अवेलेबल है नेचर में स्टूडेंट्स दैट यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड. ओके. Secondly, economical development opportunity in rural area. Even in some rural areas where there is no scope of development, using biomass as a raw material can produce a lot of sources in the rural area. The pollutant emission from the combustion of biomass are usually lower than those from the fossil fuel. Obviously, whatever the SOx, NOx that is being generated from the biomass is very, very lesser compared to the fossil fuels like diesel, petrol, kerosene. Okay. Commercial use of biomass. See, nowadays, lot of people have started using commercially biomass as a raw material and have set up a commercial plants. Okay, commercial plants. Even in some of the states in India, there are some bigger plants where biodiesel is produced in a huge quantity, right? And last is improved fertility of the soil. Biomass is very good actually to the land. It is not degrading any land quality, so it is improving the fertility. Yes, environmental advantages. Obviously, renewable source hai, reducing the landfills, protects clean water supply, reduces acid rain and smoke. Obviously, if you are producing the less amount of pollution, the acid rain and the smokes will be less. Generate the greenhouse, reduces the greenhouse gases. Okay. Yes. Obviously, students, when there is some advantage, always there is some type of the disadvantage that we need to bear. So first is it is dispersed and land intensive as a source. Okay. It is highly available and occupies most of the land. So that is, we can say, disadvantage. It is having a low energy density. See, it is having a low energy density means conversion of biomass into the product is something less. Okay. It is not having yield of 90%, 95%. And that's why the energy density consideration is lesser in case of biomass. It is labor incentive and the cost of collecting large quantities for commercial application is significant. Obviously, you have to collect the biomass from the nature. So you require some manpower, okay, or you require some machineries to cut the biomass and collect it and all this thing. For example, if I talk about the sugarcane molasses, so sugarcane molasses is generated tons and tons every day. But how to collect that? How to separate that? How to carry that? That is a big question, because it is available in a very huge quantity. Okay. Other applications, activated carbon, as I given the example also. Wastewater treatment में as a adsorbent or filter use कर सकते हैं biomass से कुछ भी आप बना के. Even it can be used as a catalyst. Even it can be used as a catalyst support. It is used for the storage material. It is used for the mesoporous carbon, play an important role as a catalyst. It is used as a source for biodiesel, which is one of the important liquid fuel. Biodiesel is produced from vegetable oil and animal fat with the alcohol and catalyst through trans-esterification reaction. Okay. Sugar and alcohol, sugar, glycerin, furfural, cellulose beer and derivatives, carbonaceous material, resin, bioplastic. These are all the sources which are available in the biomass. When you extract the biomass or you go for treatment of the biomass, these are some of the components which come out from the material. Yes. this is what I want to give you, students. Actually, my presentation is done, but still, this 2 to 3 slides will give you some important research work right now, which in our laboratory we are doing, and I want you all to focus also. There is, we call as the lignocellulose biomass, so foundation of the second generation biofuel. Now, the waste of the trees, harvest, timber industries, food and animal. So, as I told you, grass. So, grass is available abundantly, right? Now, if the grass is available in an abundant material in the market, so what will happen? The grass you can cut and you can use it as a biomass, and it can be used to produce one of the important product, that is 5-HMF, 5-hydroxymethylsulfuran, which is found to be a intermediate for one of the important biofuels that I am going to discuss, students. Okay, right? 5-HMF is used to produce DMF, which is a biofuel with characteristics similar to petrol and the other high fuel chemicals. As I told you, fossil fuels, petrol and diesel and kerosene are going to be exhaust, but there is some new type of the sources which is going to come. See, electrical vehicles, they are not going to absorb the whole market. There will be some source of energy which has to become, and I hope this DMF, okay, will be the future scope of biopetrol, which is going to come in near future. And I'm happy to share that my students and some researchers are doing some research work on this DMF, and I suggest all of you, if you spare some time, you can go for search of research papers on 5-HMF and DMF production, which is a breakthrough right now in the field of biofuels. So this is what the small flow sheet means. From the cellulose, or we can say from biomass, you have to produce HMF, and from the HMF you have to produce the lot of these products. So in these products, 9 products, you can see the first line below 2,5-dimethylfuran. So you can produce this as also product, and it is a biopetrol. Okay, this is what the various derivatives which comes from the HMF. So number 6 is our product dimethylfuran. Yes, so this is my last slide, students, biomass. So how the biomass is going to contribute in the society or the environment? See, it is used for the gasification where syngases can be produced. It can be used as a carbonization reaction for high quality char. It can go for various chemicals, phenols, diols and food additives. It can go for slow and fast pyrolysis where you can produce biofuels and bio-oils. It can go for hydropyrolysis where you can produce the various chemicals. It can go for liquefaction where the energy in the form of heat and power can be produced. Okay, it can be go for simple direct combustion, that is incineration, where you can produce some heat and power energy. So students, आप देख सकते हैं in this bottom, agriculture, algae, husk, forest, cotton, these are all sources which are nearby to us, and still we are looking for some sources. So please come up, students, take the projects, do some research work in the field of biomass, because this is an unending topic. There is no end to that. You will be tired doing the projects or the research in this field, but the topic will not be over anytime. Okay. So thank you from my side. This is what I have shared today, and I hope you must have enjoyed in this slide.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually,
Thank you, Arun, sir.
there are some students which share their problems. So first
Yes,
problem is it feasible to use biomass energy at large scale, means economically and efficiently? So can
yes,
we use
Arun.
this as large scale?
Yes, Arun sir, even just now, 1 month before, I was actually I was in some webinar, and there was one expert, and I asked the same question actually to them, and I got an answer that yes, biomass can be used in a huge quantity, and commercially also. But the problem is that this is what the disadvantage nowadays. It is actually generated in a very huge quantity. Let's say, for example, sugarcane molasses, or you can say the elephant grass, or if you talk about the coconut waste, if you talk about the rice waste. So these are all waste actually, but it is a biomass. But it is generated in a very huge quantity that we should develop some processes which can accumulate all this biomass and can generate some useful products from that. And even I heard that there is some companies in the South area, South India, where they have started doing all these things. So I'm expecting that in a near future in Gujarat also, we will find some of the companies who will take up such projects where utilizing the biomass as a source in a very large quantity and commercialize that. Even biodiesel is also one of the biggest problem nowadays. We are talking about biodiesel, but still commercialization is again a problem. But yes, people are working. So there's a scope.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Next problem is, at present, what are the challenges in adopting biomass energy as the main energy resources?
Right now, the main problem, if what we were doing research in our laboratories, the problem is the composition. If you talk about the sources, as we discussed in the slide also, that the conversion is less. Let's say, for example, if you are taking some biomass, and if you first of all check the statistical analysis, if you go for analysis, you will find that the cellulose content is 40%, 30%, it can be 50%, lignin content is 20%. So what happens? The initial content of this cellulose and all this thing is very less. Now when you convert that, okay, or when you are going to go for some process, preliminary process, this this quantity, this composition should increase, because you are breaking, let's say you are breaking the crystallinity of the cellulose, so it should increase. But it is not going as per the current scenario of the fossil fuels. जैसे पेट्रोल की बात करें तो पेट्रोल के केस में we are having a good efficiencies, but when we talk about the biomasses, the efficiencies are not up to the mark. But yes, lot of work is going on, and I hope the things will be there in the future. That is sure. So this is a challenge. This is a challenge.
Okay. Okay. Next question is, what are some cost-effective methods of production of biomass energy?
Yeah. Okay. Some cost effective. See, cost effective. Let me tell you one thing, students. Whenever you do something, okay, some new thing or some new research work, obviously the panelist or the experts to whom you are going to present will always ask for the cost. But let me tell you, students, cost does not matter initially. Even let me tell you, biodiesel cost is even more than the petrol. But still it is widely being produced. Even some commercial plants are also there in the India, and nowadays Indian government is also focusing on that. और आज भी biodiesel पे बहुत कुछ काम होता है, even though the cost is more. So cost will come afterwards. You have to first get a success on the process. As and when you are getting the success on the process, economics will go down. Okay. And if we talk about the processes, so there are a lot of processes, students. Pyrolysis, gasification, you can go for direct combustion, you can go for aerobic, anaerobic digestion, you can go for fermentation. बहुत सारी प्रोसेसेस अवेलेबल है, और मैं बताना चाहता हूं बच्चों, यू कैन डू इट इन द लेबोरेटरी. Okay, even with a limited resource, if you have a dryer, if you have simple heater, if you have a small reactor, you can go for the pyrolysis and can do pyrolysis of any biomass.
Okay.
I hope clear.
Next and last problem is, can we, yes sir, can we use
Yes, sir.
stubble from the field of biomass energy product, and
Pardon?
how that
Pardon?
will reduce environment pollution in? Can we use stubble from field of biomass production
Okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
how it will
See,
be reduce environment pollution in area like Delhi,
see, see.
Gurgaon, and Haryana. So there
Yes,
are lots of
even
problem in the area of Haryana and Gujarat. That's why this question asked.
no, no, correct, correct. Actually, I'm happy to get this question
Most of
because
the
even
farmers are burning the stuff.
yes,
Yes, sir.
actually, they are doing direct combustion. They directly heat it, and whatever
Yes.
the SOx, NOx, or whatever the gases are generated, they do not care, and the things are going on. But the point is, if someone is utilizing that grass, actually, that waste in some useful manner, there can be some biofuels you can generate. Even I am working with one process where I am using some raw material. Okay, that is also one type of the grass. I'm using that grass as a raw material. So from that grass, we can prepare the biofuel. Even we are doing on this. So you can also take that project. Even you can collect the material from there and you can do the lab experiments and you can get the success. See, definitely, if you go for pyrolysis, you will get the three states, solid, liquid, and gas. And any of the product out of the three can be some useful source. That is 100% sure. You
Okay,
can use
sir.
it, student.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful
Okay.
session. And
Thank you. Thank you.
also, I would like to thank from the entire team of Parul University Chemical Engineering Department. And one more thing, the PPT is very good. So just please, can you share
Yeah.
this PPT with
Yes. Yes.
me so that
Sure.
I will share this
Sure.
PPT with our students.
श्योर श्योर सर नॉट टू से मैं अभी भेज दूंगा अभी बच्चों को ठीक
Okay, sir.
है
Thank you
प्लीज
so
शेयर
much.
विद द स्टूडेंट्स बिकॉज सी आई वांट टू ऐड वन थिंग we all are young faculties and young students, so I always say that start doing something. So even my students also in our university, even you all are students, तो अगर आप लोग भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट करते हैं so I am very happy that you must have started because a lot of learning is there. If you start doing some projects on biomass or some any other field, see, you learn so many things. And third year is the best time. You start in third year up to fourth year, you will be learning so many things. Okay. So thank you, Arun sir
Thank you, sir.
and Chemical Engineering Department for inviting, and thank you students for patiently listening to me. And I'll share the PPT. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, sir. You can leave.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.